We're going to talk about apparently there's some news when it comes to transfers, but of course, these are transfers for next summer where we could see Eze maybe coming into Manchester United. I like it. And then what is this we hear that Antony could be exiting? I don't know. So let's jump into it. People, smash a like as you're coming in. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so it's like this. Manchester United drama is heating up, right? Erik ten Hag faces backlash from Piers Morgan, right? Ebenezer Eze rumors are swirling, right? And Antony could be on his way out with a shocking move to join Jose Mourinho, people. I don't know. Will it happen? I'm not sure. People, welcome. Smash that like as you're coming in, guys. I appreciate you being here. Again, Man United Central. I'm your boy Luther. Listen. So, so today we got. Let's look. Let's look at what Piers Morgan had to say. Right. So Piers Morgan, this dude, who absolutely 100% does not like Erik ten Hag, and of course he doesn't like Manchester United either. So Piers Morgan's latest attack on Erik ten Hag, right? And then we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about Ebenezer Eze from Crystal Palace. He's a target for Ineos? He could be joining Manchester United, and a surprising move for Antony, right? Antony could be on his way out. All right, let's start with Piers Morgan. He slammed Erik ten Hag, right? Piers Morgan is back at it again, right? And he hasn't held back in his critique of Manchester United. We know this from the past when, the way, he's blaming Ten Hag, the way he treated Cristiano Ronaldo, right? So Piers Morgan, during his TalkSport interview, right, Piers Morgan called Ten Hag a complete idiot. Come on, man. What is that, right? He called and I quote, he called Ten Hag a complete idiot, criticizing his management style and claiming that United would be immeasurably better if they still had Cristiano Ronaldo. Piers Morgan's comments come after a shaky start to the Premier League, obviously for Manchester United, and he believes Ten Hag's inability to manage top talent is what's holding the club back. Wow, this guy, right? This guy, like Piers Morgan, man. First of all, he's saying, "Look, would be better if we still had Cristiano Ronaldo." I don't know. What do you guys think? Would Manchester United be better if Cristiano Ronaldo would have still been here? I mean, it's really up for debate. Personally, I think the way Ten Hag handled him, to me, it was okay because he was not. See, Ronaldo, yes, he's right there up in his 40s. He's still banging in goals, right? We see that. Let me fix this slide. It looks like I'm in the dark over here. What's going on? Okay. Yeah. So he's still banging in goals, right? Could he still do a job for us? I mean, yeah, somewhat. But again, whenever you have a player like Cristiano Ronaldo, you're always going to try to cater to him, right? And Ten Hag, during the first season when he came on board, having a character like Cristiano Ronaldo, always, like Ronaldo, if he's in your dressing room, he's going to want to put in his 2 cents in there, right? Because, of course, he's Cristiano Ronaldo, right? People, smash a like as you're coming in. Thank you so much for joining. I see Prince Lemmy in the house. What's going on, my man? Thank you so much for joining. So, of course, during that time, Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah, when he came in, he did score some goals for us, okay? But, again, Ten Hag wanted to play differently. He wanted, all his players to play a certain style. He wanted his strikers to, contribute more, dropping back, trying to defend a little bit. Of course, the dynamic didn't work by having Cristiano Ronaldo in that dressing room. So during that time, honestly, having him, and again, also Cristiano wanted to leave anyway. He wanted to go to exit. But again, during that time, there was not really a lot of teams queuing up to sign Cristiano Ronaldo because, of course, huge salary, big name. A lot of teams and managers did not want to deal with that drama of having a player like Cristiano Ronaldo in your dressing room because, I mean, big character, he will demand a lot. And what Ten Hag was trying to do is to build something. And he felt like having the likes of Cristiano in that dressing room could hinder that, right? So he tried to work with him. It didn't work out. The rest is history. Cristiano left for the Saudi League, and he did that interview with Piers Morgan. And again, Piers Morgan, of course, trying to be buddy buddy with Cristiano. He went into attack. He started attacking, Erik Ten Hag, right? So, and from that point on, he has not stopped. Like he's the attack dog for Cristiano Ronaldo, man. Listen, I love Cristiano Ronaldo, but he needs to call off his pit bull in Piers Morgan, right? Because right now already the media, right? The media hates Ten Hag. We know this, right? The reason I'm saying that, look, today, over the weekend, I think it was yesterday or something, we saw that this report here. Let me look it up. So we saw something from the media. Erik Ten Hag was managing his old club, Utrecht, right? He was managing Utrecht during a testimonial game, right? Basically, I think it was testimonial for one of their legends there for Utrecht. So he was there as a coach coming back to his old team, managing it, right? So in that game, basically everybody, all these like Talk Sport is saying, this is what they said: Erik Ten Hag's losing streak continues during international break, right? During a meaningless testimonial match, right? That was from Talk Sport. And a whole bunch of news publications, they were all going with this story that, oh, Ten Hag loses again. Ten Hag, is a terrible coach. Like they kept on piling onto him, right? Basically, this guy is already, Ten Hag is already going through a lot, with this team, right? Trying to figure out how to get us back to winning. And now these guys coming out with this pile-on saying, oh, he lost. And the kicker is this: a simple search of how that game went by at Utrecht, a meaningless game, a testimonial. Ten Hag actually won that match, right? But the media, of course, right now, this is the international break, right? With the international break, the news is kind of like, they're scraping the barrel for news. They say, you know what, man, I'm sure they saw that Ten Hag won that. They were like, no, forget about it. Let's just go with the story that this guy lost, right? Because if you put that on any social media out there, oh, Ten Hag loses again, even though this is an international break, he continues losing. It piles on to those Ten Hag haters, right? They're going to continue feeling, oh, look at that, man. This guy, he can't win even a testimonial game. A game that doesn't mean anything, he still couldn't win, right? Even though those are lies, because this man actually won that game. The game that doesn't mean anything. Testimonial mean like, listen, it was for, like not for fun, but it was something for one of their legends for that team kind of thing. So it's not, you don't get anything from winning it, right? But this guy won it, but the media, they went after it, man. This is Talk Sport. Talk Sport is a big media organization, but they're constantly bombarding Manchester United, constantly trying to hate on United. Talk Sport is one of those media publication or organization that constantly talking about Manchester United, because they know whenever you put Manchester United name in any news, everybody's going to click and talk about it, right? It's all about the clicks, right? So, I mean, seeing that today, that was terrible. It shows clearly, like, basically, as a reporter, like I thought you were kind of bound by a certain code of conduct. Hey, whatever you're reporting out there, it has to be the truth instead of, embellishing it to fit an agenda. But the media, especially in the UK, they constantly, they don't care, man. They just publish whatever. Negativity sells, obviously. It provides clicks. And also, those people who are Ten Hag outers, they like that, right? They will continue clicking on it because they want this guy to be sacked, right? They want him to be sacked ASAP. And of course, uh, say for example, we play the next game against Southampton next weekend, right? And God forbid Ten Hag loses that game. That will be an utter disaster. Let's start there, right? So imagine if this guy loses that game, right? If he loses that game, the media they've already had the pieces ready to go, right? That way they can continue slamming this guy. Because if he loses that game, they know, okay, it's getting closer for this guy to be sacked. And of course, whenever you're publishing these negative news, people like negativity. And during that time, for example, quote unquote, if Ten Hag is getting to be sacked, there's more news that can be published. People are going to be clicking, so it's good for business, right? Especially these guys, the pundits who hate Ten Hag, who hate Manchester United. They like that. And also at the same time, if once, for example, Ineos pull the trigger and sack him, again, another cycle will start where now they're talking, okay, who's going to take over? Who's going to be the next manager? Boom, boom, yeah, continue. So basically, it's a endless cycle of news that pertain to Manchester United, and then these people like that because hey, the more negative, the better, right? So it is definitely frustrating for us Man United fans because constantly people are just hating on Man United, wanting us to just be crappy and keep on losing matches and stuff like that. But again, it also does not help if Ten Hag is also not helping himself, right? To shut these guys up. What's up? Oh, I see CR7 in the chat. What's going on, CR7? Des, welcome. Listen, right? I'm talking about you, CR7. Yeah, man. Tell Piers Morgan to stop bashing Ten Hag, right? So these people want Ten Hag to fail, and Ten Hag has to help himself. To shut these people, he has to win. He has to string wins together. He needs to change his system, right? Again, I'm going to keep on talking about it. Either you bench Casemiro and bring it, obviously you're going to start Ugarte. Listen, first of all, if this guy does not play Ugarte, Ten Hag, you'll be sacking yourself. I'm telling you, right? If he plays the same team again versus Southampton, that will be like shooting yourself in the foot, right? Because you have players out there, use them, right? Ugarte played 70 plus million for his country. He has some legs. Throw him into the wolves, man. Let him do something for you. Worst case scenario, if you're going to play Casemiro, play Ugarte there. That way you control that midfield, right? So he has to make these changes to help himself, right? He has to do that. And listen, these negative news about Erik ten Hag being sacked and everything, they're not going to go away. They're not going to go away because like today we also saw that guess who's another manager that Man United they think that could be coming to Manchester United. Apparently reports are saying Sir Jim Ratcliffe likes the idea of Zizou, Zinedine Zidane coming in as Manchester United manager. Okay, guys, I don't know. I don't see this happening, right? Now, if Zidane becomes Manchester United, would I be upset? Hell no. It will be fantastic. But Zidane, he does not want to manage in England, right? That is not building teams. It's not really his forte, right? He cannot he's not a project manager. Zidane was successful at Real Madrid because he had all the pieces there, right? He just he tweaked things here and there. He was able to get it to work, right? Zidane coming to Manchester United, playing with young players, developing players, getting them to the next level. That is really not his thing, right? So I agree with you, Prince Lemmy. Zidane, he won't go to Man United for sure, right? So there were those reports. Hey, it could be Zidane. I also saw some crazy other reports that linking us again with Southgate. Come on, man. Listen, they sack Ten Hag and bring Southgate, it will be a complete and utter disaster. right? There'll be people, you know how they used to hold banners, uh, basically wanting Glazers out. They're gonna be people out there with banners say Southgate out, right? From the get go, like the minute they announce him, the people will be like, nah, Southgate out. Listen, it will be really disastrous for Ineos to sack um, Ten Hag and bring Southgate. It will not make sense because, again, you're bringing in a manager who basically hasn't won anything, right? A manager like Southgate who was relegated to take over that big job at Manchester United, it would not make any sense. Now, the reason people are kind of talking about Southgate is because when it comes to the PR machine, Southgate is polished, man. He knows how to talk to the media. He know like that's his thing, right? That's why he was able to manage England for so long, and that England job is no joke. And he was able to manage it because he knows how to handle the media, the press, and everything. You know, he knows the protocol on how to deal with certain characters. But tactics, nothing. So he will not work, right? And we talked about the other day the likes of what's his name, Thomas Tuchel. Tuchel is not going to come because again, from last time, from the reports that we saw, he did not like the idea of coming to Man United because he doesn't like our transfer structure, meaning that working with the likes of Barada, Ashworth, Wilcox to come up with a decision on who to bring in or who to sell. He didn't like that. Basically, he had the same kind of structure at Dortmund, Chelsea, Bayern. Hence, he ended up clashing with the boards. That's why Tuchel was sacked, right? So he didn't want to put himself through that again with Manchester United. So I don't see Thomas Tuchel coming in to take over that Manchester United job, right? So that being said, I don't know who's going to be coming. Now, I know obviously with Ineos, they have a plan, right? They do have a plan, meaning that if they decide, say, by December, which we already all know that they're going to give him a chance for his players to get to bet in his players to the injury players like the Luke Shaws, Malacia, Hoyland, to come back. They're going to give him that time. So hopefully we'll see by December, we should see something, right? If Ten Hag really wants to keep this job, he needs to change to make us harder to beat. And that's because that's what Ineos wants to see. They wants to see a team that like it's not just one mistake gets you scored on. They want to see something concrete, something that building blocks being put together. Because now Ten Hag has his players, so we know there's no excuse for Ten Hag, no excuse, right? The injuries, fine, they're going to give him time for the injuries to come back, right? And we shall see, right? We shall see what he does, but he needs to start this Saturday against Southampton. He needs to get the win. Like, he has to get the win. People, smash a like, hit that subscribe if you don't mind. I appreciate you being here, right? So he has to start this Saturday because, I mean, I don't see any other way of him getting any sympathy from anybody, right? Even as fans, I'm Ten Hag in all the way, man, right? I want this guy to succeed. But, sympathy is not going to be there because if he's stubborn, he keeps on playing, the same team because, they played well last game. He has to change, right? One thing I got to say, I don't know if you guys have seen your boy Rashford. Rashford, I don't know if you saw those clips, him training. He's looking good. He's looking good, training hard. But can he really apply that in the game? Right? He's looking good. I mean, he was, hitting, he was scoring top bins. Of course, it's practice. There's no pressure on you. He's looking sharp, fit, strong, ripped, But, can you apply that during the game, right? Can you take on players? Can you can we get the old Rashford from the season before last that gave us 20 plus goals, right? Of course, Ineos, Ten Hag, everybody believes that Rashford can do that. And I'm sure he also believes he can get to that level. But, training videos, all these things, putting them out there, they're not really going to do much to, they're not going to do much when Ten Hag needs him the most during that during the game, right? So people, smash a like it if you don't mind. Thank you so much. So yeah, so things have to change. The media and Ten Hag, the hate is still gonna be there. The hate for United is still gonna be there. But we gotta shut these haters down, man. To shut them down is to produce on the field, right? We saw our players out there in international. They're doing the bits. Our players, all the players that are out there in international duty, they are doing the job, right? Ugarte played 79 minutes. We saw Joshua Zirkzee with an assist and a goal, right? We saw Bruno scoring. We saw like Bruno and Dalot combining and Dalot scoring. You know, come on, man. We saw Kobe Mainu bossing it in that midfield for England. Listen, right? Onana got the win, clean sheet. You know, so our players, they're doing bits out there in the when they play their national teams, right? Some people will say, you know what, some of these players, like for example Bruno, when he goes to Portugal and stuff like that, they love playing for their country. That is good, and I think most of the coaches for those national teams, they kind of they cater the playing style to some of them, like Bruno, the way he plays in the Portugal national team. You know, he orchestrates that number 10 position. Like it's incredible, and of course Roberto Martinez is a really good coach as well. But they need to, all these players, when they come back home, all right, to Carrington, you know, when they come back, I think Wednesday, maybe they'll be back by Thursday or something. They need to come fired. They need to be fired up, saying, "Hey, man, we all of us played well out there. We need to now to deliver to these fans, right? These fans have been tortured enough because most of these players of ours, they're always on social media. They see the you know the hatred and the negative information that is out there, right, on Manchester United. So they see it. Yeah, I'm sure. For example, I can say maybe like Bruno, for example, even Lisandro Martinez, again, he played very well as well, clean sheet for Argentina. Garnacho also, I think he assisted, you know, so all those players, right? So all these, they see this, the media coverage for Manchester United out there, so they need to feel like, you know what, guys, when we get back, we need to, you know, find our form, right? Follow Ten Hag's instructions. Hopefully Ten Hag can, you know, work out this system. That way they can get something, right? They can get that win. Listen, on that game against Southampton, one thing I can say, I don't care about the playing style. None of that. I want that win. I want those 3 points. Okay. For the next, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 games coming up, let's say Ten Hag, we're gonna give you a break. We don't care about the playing style. We need 3 points. Okay. In each 4 games coming up, at least 3 of those games you gotta win. So that will be 9 points, right? Right. We need to get the win. The playing style will come later. I know that. Okay, the playing style will come later, but for now we gotta string those wins together. So Ten Hag should be like, okay, now, just like the way he went into that Man City game in the FA Cup, you know, he said, listen, the last 2 games, that one and the Brighton game before the end of the season, we need to be pragmatic. We need to be harder, compact. Do that. Change the style. Nobody's going to judge you, Ten Hag. Change the style and get the wins, right? Because, yeah, let the Jamie Carragher's and all these pandas say, oh, we still don't see a style of play. We still don't see a style of play. But Ten Hag can always say, listen, but we won, right? Huh? We won, right? You know how he talks? We won, huh? Like that. So, you know, he can use something like that, saying, listen, man, we have to make some changes. You know, I don't know, play diamond, you know, in that midfield. I don't know, but get the 3 points. Crucial, because he needs to play right now, set up that team as if his life depends on it. Because listen, his tenure at Manchester United, it does depend on it. Because one thing I know for a fact, Ineos, Sir Jim, Barada, Ashworth, they do not want to be they don't want to be looked at as mugs, saying, hey, this is the guy that you guys decided to keep, instead of you know, sacking him during that time where you guys had a chance. You decided to keep this guy. What's going on, Hassan Yare? Welcome, welcome. Smash those likes. I appreciate you. Right? So, Lenin, welcome, welcome. So, he needs to, Ten Hag definitely needs to, fix himself. And Ineos, if they don't see changes, they're definitely going to be pulling the plug on him, sooner rather than later, which will be really sad because honestly, I'm rooting for him to win, right? So yeah. So let's see what else is going on. We do have other news we're talking about. I see here that 1 second. We had some news on Manchester United's plan during the summer. Because listen, one person, this gentleman here in Ralph Ragnick, he had said, listen, he said uh, Manchester United needs open heart surgery, right? And according to recent reports, I'm sure some of you guys have seen it, it said Ralph Ragnick has said his claim that Manchester United require open heart surgery has been proven right as current head coach Erik ten Hag faces fresh scrutiny following their disappointing start to the season, right? Before leaving Old Trafford, following an interim spell as in charge, Ragnick, who is now Austria's head coach, delivered a brutally honest assessment of United's issues, in which he said it was easy to pinpoint the problems at the club, but there need to be a collective change, right? And honestly, that was his point about open heart surgery was a fact, right? And listen, we see Ineos, they listened, right? During that time when Ragnick was there, this new structure was not there, so it wasn't implemented. But now we see these changes. We see these changes that Ineos, they're getting rid of players, they're bringing in players that can perform. Ragnick had said, listen, you need to bring in players who are on their, like, maybe their first or second contract, right? That way they have something else to play for. You know what I mean? You don't bring in players who are on their third contract ready to, get that big payout, right? Because those guys, they're not going to work as hard. They'll just be at Man United for money, right? So that's why Ineos right now, they're bringing in the likes of Xerxes, Erasmus Hoyland, Lenny Yoro, 18-year-old young kid, Matthias de Ligt, you have Mazraoui. These players, they still have the hunger because they're still young, meaning that they can work for that second or maybe the third contract. So basically right now, the money they're getting now, they would work hard, that way they can get to that next level, to get that big money, to get that Bruno Fernandes money, right? So with Bruno, of course, he just turned 30, I think. And this is Bruno's last contract that we just gave him. And at one point, obviously, he's going to be phased out. Casemiro is going to be phased out in the summer, hopefully. And then Maguire, again, he's on his last contract, so Maguire for sure is going to be gone. So with Maguire being gone, Ineos is most likely going to be looking to bring in, again, they're still looking at Branthwaite. Branthwaite comes in, and then, of course, this could be also Antony's last season, because if he doesn't perform during this season, he could be also offloaded next summer. That's why we look like we've been linked with Eberechi Eze, right, from Crystal Palace, because Eze is, man, he is awesome player, right? So according to reports here, it's saying that in the midst of all the chaos that's going on at Manchester United, rumors are circulating that Manchester United could be making a big move for Crystal Palace Eberechi Eze. Can't say his name, right? I didn't want to butcher it. The attacking midfielder has been a sensational form, and it's not a surprise that United are interested. With his ability to create chances and score goals, Eze could be exactly what United need to add some creativity to their midfield, right? But the big question is this: will Palace let him go? And can United pull off this transfer? We shall see, because he has a release clause, I think, of like 68 million. Big money. How is Ineos going to work this out? We're definitely not going to pay 60 something million for him. So I'm sure they're going to finagle it, trying to come up with a deal here to bring him on board, right? So that is one that was kind of hitting the waves today. That the link for Eze coming to Manchester United in the summer, because Ineos, they have a plan. Obviously, this summer we did some. We brought in those 5 players. Obviously, next summer we still have some players to offload. The likes of Christian Eriksen, he needs to be out of there. Of course, Casemiro, that's another one they're going to work on getting him out of the door. You have who else? Maguire, Lindelof. You have who else could be leaving? Maybe Antony, right? And so of course Sancho is already at the door. So they still have some work. So if you can, next summer you get rid of like 5 of those players, and then you bring in Eze, you bring in Wharton, from Newcastle. Adam Wharton, that kid is good, man. And then you bring in Branthwaite. Already the team is looking good. So they have a plan. So during like today, of course, the news cycle is kind of slow. That's what they were talking about. Man United's plan going forward. That's what they're going to be doing, right? Now we know that the Turkish transfer window is still open. I think it closes the 13th, if I'm not mistaken, right? Apparently now there's the links that Antony's shock loan move. Could it happen? Let's check it out. And reports suggest that Antony could be pushing for a loan move away from Manchester United, with none other than Jose Mourinho of Fenerbahce showing interest. I don't know why I said it like that. Fenerbahce. Really? What's up with that? Yeah. After struggling to make a significant impact since his big money move from Ajax, Antony reportedly feels he needs a change to revitalize his career. Right? United are said to be open to an idea of a loan deal, especially with Turkish transfer window still open. Could we really see Antony link up with Mourinho in Turkey? You guys let me know if you think this could happen. Personally, I do not see it happening. Right? Simple. I do not see it happening. I'm just reporting it because it is news. Right? I don't see it happening because, first of all, if Antony leaves, we're gonna be short-handed in in the wing, because then we'll just have Garnacho, we'll have Rashford, and Ahmad. So 3. That is risky, because if one of those guys goes down, and we're in trouble. So I don't see it happening, because we cannot bring in a replacement during this time, right? So, and we saw reports that Antony, I think it was Chris Wheeler, had reported that Antony could, he wants to fight for his position at Manchester United, the same as Casemiro. They said, listen, we want to fight instead of packing your bags and hitting the road. So I don't see this report really anything to it. I think it's just again, slow news cycle. People feel like, okay, let's throw Man United's name on there, even though the story is not true. Of course, there are already links of Antony, since he's not getting enough game time, so it could very well be willing to take that the loan move. So they just throw the story out there, knowing people are going to run with it. So hey, listen, we report it. I don't see it happening, but it is the story that's out there going on, talking about Antony could be on his way to Fenerbahce. So to me that's not going to happen, right? That's not going to happen. All right, let's see what else we got going on. So we have Piers Morgan talking rubbish about Ten Hag. Piers Morgan is a disgrace. He just likes to run his mouth, because again, for clicks, anything you throw with Manchester United, it's going to run. He's one of those people that constantly mouthpiece for Cristiano Ronaldo, but Ronaldo has already moved on, man. He's already moved on, but Piers Morgan is still holding on to that link, that Ten Hag. He doesn't know how to handle big names. Look at him. He fell off with Ronaldo. He fell off with Jadon Sancho. that kind of thing, Casemiro. So he's talking about all those things, saying that, hey, this guy, he's an idiot, quote unquote. That's what he called him. He called Erik ten Hag an idiot, which is so disrespectful. This guy has managed, you know, important players. And listen, it's not always going to work out, right? But the way he's worked on getting rid of these players, I commend him. Ten Hag did it right. He needed to get rid of Ronaldo to maintain that the dressing room to be more in sync with each other, all on the same page. That we don't have extremely big egos, because you already have big egos in the dressing room. But when you throw in Ronaldo in there, it doesn't help matters. So I think, to me, he did the right thing, get rid of Ronaldo, right? Because if we're going to build something for the future, we couldn't have held on to Ronaldo and try to build a team, because again, if Ronaldo is there, he's going to want to play each and every game, and everybody's going to be trying to cater to him, making sure, okay, you're always supplying Ronaldo, that way he can get his goals and all this stuff. So it didn't work out. So Ronaldo out, good. Jadon Sancho, come on. Ten Hag did very well with Jadon Sancho, right? He worked with him. He allowed him to go to, I don't know, it's not rehab, but to take time off from the team to go and sort himself out. Apparently, there were some reports that Jadon Sancho had some mental, troubles, whatever, that he needed to sort his head out. He allowed him to go to sort himself out, right? He gave him some time. It was unheard of, right? A manager allowing a player to go out there to get himself sorted out. He allowed him to do that. Sancho goes there, and then how does he reward Ten Hag? By putting that piece on Instagram, whatever, saying, oh, he's being used as a scapegoat. Come on, it was right for Sancho to be kicked out of the team, right? So Morgan saying that Ten Hag doesn't know how to handle big names and all this stuff, it does not make any sense, none whatsoever, right? It's just another hit piece on Ten Hag to pile on, to add pile on, because they know they want to punch him while he's down, right? Which it's a terrible thing, but unfortunately that's what sells, right? And this social media and the pundits, especially in the UK papers, even ESPN Sports, man. I mean, like, golly, those guys are, yeah, they are something else too, right? So it is crazy, but these news they're not going to go away. And as they happen, I'm going to be here hanging out with you fantastic people, and we're going to talk about this, right? We're going to talk about it and try to make sense of it. Obviously, misery likes company. So some of you Manchester United fans out there, we know we're all on the same page, going through the same thing. Some of you want Ten Hag out. Some of us want him in. We are compensating, going through it. Hey, it's all good. We're going to get there. I believe there's a light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to Manchester United, man. Because for once, there's a structure, and this structure cannot afford to fail, right? Failure is not an option for Ineos, right? Because they have poured money into this project, and all the players that we're signing, we sell them the project, and they love the project, they join us. And also we're signing a whole bunch of young players, right? Under 17s and stuff like that, talents, you know what I mean? Chido, Obi Martin, Kone, all those players are for the future, right? Because if Ineos knows that in order for us to have a team that is going to be able to compete for years to come at a higher level, not just you win the Premier League here and then next season you fall off. No, they know that they're trying to build a team that will compete to get to the level like Man City, right? Year in, year out, you're competing for titles, right? Competing for championship. That's what they're trying to build. And we see, the game plan is there by the players that they're signing. Young players, right? Hungry players, talent. And also, Ineos, they know this. They know one thing is, when you sign these young players, right, their resale value is very high, meaning that you buy these players, you can develop them, and then if we feel that they don't want to work out, we offload them. And we were able to offload Hannibal Mabry, and a few others, we were able to sell them and bring in some money to the team because these were young talents that even other teams out there around the world, they'll be willing to take a risk to bring him in because they're like, okay, hey, listen, Hannibal Mabry, okay, he may not have worked at Man United, but at a small team, I think he went to Burnley, if I'm not mistaken, he could work because then he's going to go there, he's going to be able to flourish. That's what they're trying to do. Bring in young players, develop them, and then take them to the next level. If they're going to work out at Man United, well and good, right? And it could be the next, big names, right? The next Kylian Mbappe. That's what Sir Jim Ratcliffe said. We're not going to sit here and splash cash on Kylian Mbappe. We want to get the next Kylian Mbappe. And listen, may it work out for us down the road. Guys, that is all I got for you. I appreciate you hanging out with your boy. This is Man United Central, and I'm your boy Luther. Until the next one, take care of yourselves. Peace out.